Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods homestead, y'all. I just got back from my brother Wesley's. I went over and borrowed this hog cooker that my dad gave him several years ago, about the same time that he gave us the sawmill. And y'all, there's been a whole lot of pork and chicken and turkey and everything cooked on this thing, and it's not the traditional method of barbecuing a pig, at least where I come from. But it works out pretty handy. And we're going to use it here in a few days to barbecue a pig. Guys, thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods Homestead. Hit that like for us and subscribe to the channel if you hadn't, and if you have, as always, we appreciate you. We're going to do a few things to get ready for this barbecue. Y'all, I do believe I was making fun of the weather just a minute ago. It's just after lunchtime, and I got back from my brother's from getting that cooker. And I told Lisa, I said, I know it'll be hot out there in this coat. I get down here for just a few minutes, y'all, and I'm cold. And thermometer says 49 degrees. So that'd be why. So I had to bundle up just a little bit, but got some sandpaper, had a sighting on Whiskers, our little wild kitten that's hanging out in the barn. He's in there staring at me, but he just won't come close yet. But we're going to work on that scalding tank. I'm going to flip it over, get those pinholes sanded down, and put some JB Weld putty up in those, and then we'll move on to something else. I need to clean that cooker up, and that might be what we move to next. But let's get down here, check on Samson and Dixie real quick too. All right, these guys are doing just fine. Samson has actually leaned up a little bit here in the past couple of days because he's been chasing Dixie all over the place. But she's starting to come into heat this morning, so I'm hoping that by either late this evening or in the morning, she'll be standing for him. But they've got it bulldozed out here, y'all. They've been finding some dry ground. Those noses are really good at that. But she ain't gonna be long. She'll be standing for him. He's already been attempting. So y'all, all I've got here is some 100 grit sandpaper, and I've got 3 pinholes down here in the corner. You ain't gonna be able to see them, camera ain't gonna pick it up, but we'll clean up around them, then take some steel stick from JB Weld, kind of mold that and put it in those little holes. Now, it's been a while since I've used anything like this as putty, but it's really simple. You just cut off the amount that you want, and for my situation, it's not going to take a whole lot, and I'll save it, or I actually squeeze it out. That's even better. I'm just going to take a little pinch right there. And then that I'll put back in the tube, and when I have another project, hopefully it'll be good. It should. I'll keep it in the house where it's not extreme temperatures, and it should be good to go for the next time. But all that you do is just mix all that, get the wax paper off the end, just mix it together. It's black and gray until you get a uniform color throughout. And it's good for, I think I've patched mufflers with it before, stuff that's going to hold water, and it does pretty good. You can feel it heating up. There's a chemical reaction, I guess, that takes place there. I don't really know what's in this stuff, but it seems to do the trick, and not the off-brand. I always get the name brand when it comes to this kind of stuff. I've never really had any luck with the off-brand stuff and something like this. But now I've got enough to patch these 3 holes. All right, let me patch them. Yeah, all I'm doing is stuffing it the best I can into the hole. I've removed as much rust as I could. So this stuff should bond to this bare metal. Oh yeah. All right, and here on the back side, you can see where my fingertip is, where that gray putty has came through to the other side, and that's what you're looking for. There's another one, and there's one in the seam down here you're not going to be able to see. But y'all, if you need to do a project like this, that's what I'm using. Steel stick from JB Weld. It's only a few dollars. Yeah, I'm not completely done with this barrel yet, or this tank. I'm actually going to take this chain, then I'm going to attach it to one side of the scalding tank. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to be able to, and I'm going to use some self-tapping screws, y'all. You can use bolts, self-tapping screw with a big enough head on it that it won't come through your small chain, and small chain is good for this. It's actually going to allow us to be able, when we put the pig in there, to be able to use those chains and pull the pig out, because it's hard enough grabbing a hold of a pig after you have dispatched it. There is no real good place to grab a hold of a hog and load it. They're built that way. There's not like a deer where you can grab hold of antlers or a back hoof. You really can't grab hold of any of this. And once you get it wet in water, it's going to be slippery, so the chains are going to help with pulling that thing out. See, all these chains will actually serve two different purposes. One, we can put the hog down in here and keep it off the bottom of the pot and hopefully not burn any hide as we're doing this. You don't want to start cooking your pig. You try to keep it off the fire if possible. That's one purpose of these chains. The other is going to be to help drag that pig out, and basically just gathering up the loose ends of the chain and dragging that pig back towards you. And originally I had planned, and I still may try, to bury this tank all the way up to about right here with a fire under it with a ditch. But it is so wet, y'all. There's water standing all around me down here where we're wanting to do this scalding. So it's probably going to be modified. I really don't want to get the excavator down in here, as nasty as it is. We'll probably dig out just a little bit. I'm scared to dig anything out today. It's still a few days before we do this, and they're calling for more rain. Actually, they're calling for rain the day ahead of scalding, so I don't want my work to fill up with water like everything else around here. So I'll probably end up digging just a shallow trench and putting one run of 8-inch block under it and building my fire that way, and then just using a pallet on the front of the tractor to roll the hog in there and back up onto. So that's probably going to be the plan versus the way I wanted to do it, which was burying this thing deeper in the ground. It's just too wet this year, y'all. We have had monsoon type weather this fall. Y'all, I do believe I'll take a quick break from what I'm doing. I'm gonna sneak up here. We're gonna check on Lisa. She's been in the kitchen making homemade buns. She asked me what I wanted for supper. I smelt those homemade buns. Well, what I can smell, it's kind of limited still, but I saw her making those homemade buns, and y'all, those things are excellent. So we're gonna sneak up here and see if she's pulled them out of the oven yet. She loves it when I sneak up on her. All right, just a quick peek inside there. Lisa can't stand it when I show up unannounced, and I said, honey, people know we live here. Might be a dish or two on the counter, but I'll tell you what, she keeps a clean, tight house. She's much more organized when it comes to that than I am, so I'm very, very grateful to Lisa for all the hard work she does around here. But y'all, let's get down here and get back to it. Y'all, we'll get back on that scalding tank here in a few days when it's actually time to scald that pig, and we're going to show you that, scalding the pig. And we'll talk more about this offset smoker up here, where it came from, where my dad had it built and all that good stuff. But it works out really good, y'all. It's not the traditional way of cooking a pig. The way that I grew up, we would actually form a pit out of block on the ground and cook that pig on the ground. We would burn the barrels and the whole 9 yards, but I just really don't have that in me this year, y'all. I wanted to do it that way so bad, but it really takes two people. It's a lot of work, and Lisa and I could both do it, but we'd both be exhausted about 12 hours after cooking that pig. So we're gonna do it a little bit simpler way, and that offset smoker, it works pretty good. You just gotta dial it in a little bit so you don't get so much smoke, because we like smoke, but we don't like it saturated in smoke, if that makes sense with barbecue pork. But I'm gonna hop on this excavator. I need to dig a hole. I need to bury the remains of deer that we processed the other evening. We've got so much in the compost pile now that I'm scared to go stir that thing around, because even though I can't smell very well, I know Lisa can. And I say I can't smell very well because for about a year now I hadn't really been able to smell a whole lot of anything. But anyways, I don't want to be making a mess up there and tracking through the yard. So I'm gonna track this machine out here in the edge of the woods and dig a hole to bury what's left over from processing a deer. All right, y'all. I do believe that's a deep enough hole for what I've got to do. I've dug enough septic tanks, installing septic tanks in my life. I'm pretty good at digging a hole, but I enjoy doing it, y'all. Y'all, we love living this way. It's not easy, but it is rewarding. We appreciate you hanging out with us today at the Piney Woods. Didn't do a whole lot, but y'all, it's just been nasty outside, but we did what we could. We hope that you have enjoyed your stay with us. Guys, we'll see you on the next video. Y'all have a good day and a great week.